A silent, lonely figure in black, she keeps vigil over a long-forgotten buried treasure. The souls of her people can rest. Her own cannot. The Dare the Dark Headless Nun experience every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30, July the 3rd to September the 29th, leaving from the playground side of French Fork Cove, 1111 King George Highway. Tickets purchased on site, $15 a head. Legends never die, neither will the call to Dare the Dark. A presentation of Character Matters, Miramichi.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Frankie Corcoran. Back with ya. We're almost through September, guys. I think this is the last episode of September. Let me double check that. I think it is. Yes, it is. Woo! Isn't that crazy? Yeah, guys. So we're going into October now. As you guys know, for those of you guys who listen to the show on a daily basis, or maybe not daily basis, on a weekly basis, I should say. But if you listen to it daily, then I won't argue with that either. But you will know that I start off every episode with a little advertisement from Character Matters Miramichi promoting the Headless Nun Tour. This is the last week for it this year. This is the last week for the Headless Nun. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, definitely be sure to check it out before it is done for the year. But although that's the last regular Monday, Wednesday, and Friday tour of the year for Headless Nun, there is some more stuff coming up with Character Matters Miramichi, also involving the Headless Nuns. They have Horror at the Cove, which is the Headless Nun Tour at French Fork Cove, October 21st, 27th, and 28th. I'm super excited. I will be taking part in that as well, too, actually, so I'm very, very excited. Madness at the Manse, Haunted Tour at the Beaverbrook House, October 13th and 14th. And an Autumn Haunting Haunted Graveyard Tour at Wilson's Point, which is October 20th, which I am also excited to be part of as well. So definitely, guys, be sure to check out what Character Matters is doing. They're doing great stuff, man. Like, they're doing really, really good. Shout out to you, Sean and Tom, if you guys are listening to this. And Clara, you guys rock. You guys are the best. So, anyways, guys, moving on to the episode today. So today I'm going to be joined by Atticus Sumner. Atticus is considered one of the best percussion dancers ever. So quite an honor it is to have him on the show today. He's a star of Rhythm with Views. You can check it out on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, and Google Play. We'll chat a little bit with him about what he's done with the show, what he's done with his dancing endeavors, teaching, and all that stuff. Great conversation, and Atticus, awesome guy, man. Definitely be sure, guys, to check out Rhythm with Views on, as I mentioned, Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, and Google Play. Definitely be sure to tune into the conversation as well too, and definitely be sure to support Atticus. Later in the show, I want to chat a little bit about this comment that came from Robert Downey Jr. recently with regards to Tom Holland's Spider-Man future. I thought was super interesting. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. And also, I want to get my thoughts on the news that it seems Michael Caine is retired, officially retired now. Never really, announced too much of it prior to it. It was kind of just like, I'm pretty much done right now, actually. It wasn't like a tune in Michael Caine's final movie. No, we didn't really have any build up to it. But anyways, more to come on that later. And without further ado, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show today. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Frankie Corcoran, and today I am joined by a man of many hats, realtor, television personality, tap dancer, Atticus Sumner. Atticus, he's a star of the new Amazon Prime series, Rhythm with Views. You can catch it on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, and Google Play. Atticus, how's it going?
Man, it's going great. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, well, there. Thank you so much for coming on. And I was just telling you before the show started, I think this is the first real tap dancer, not just that I've ever had on this podcast, but that I've ever actually talked to. Period. Not many. I don't know too many tap dancers myself, and you're actually considered one of the greatest. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. That's what people are saying about you. So, I mean, how does that feel? That's quite the honor.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, and I appreciate that. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, a lot of times what you think of anymore with tap dancing is maybe somebody on Broadway or maybe just a bunch of little kids doing it at a local studio or something. So it has been quite a journey. I started off. I had leg braces when I was young and asthma and quite a restriction, actually about 40% restriction on my lungs, and was really an unlikely candidate to become a really good dancer. And just through kind of falling into the dancing, and I just kind of found over time it gave me more coordination and kind of something I just embraced and fell into. I really couldn't do a lot of sports, and over time that sort of healed my lungs, I guess, and gave me the stamina to do more. And so it's really given me more than just the dancing. It really.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and it's awesome. It really is awesome because I remember years ago I said, how fun would that be to learn tap dancing? And I'm like, I could probably never do that. But do you have any advice for people who might have been in the same mindset as me, where you're like, oh, I could
Yeah,
try it, but I can never do it. I
you
mean,
know
obviously you've done it and done it very well, so.
the thing is most of the people that have done really well at it, they didn't imagine, like, okay, today's the day I'm going to wake up and become a great dancer. It's just something that you sort of fall into. So you don't really, you just show up. Don't have that expectation about how good or bad you are. You'd be really quite surprised. A lot of times it really depends on the teacher. I kind of learned early on that there's a lot more people that don't know how to dance than do know how to dance. So I geared all my lessons and stuff towards brand new people. I really enjoy trying to get them in, and they all say I've got two left feet, and I think with the right methodology and if you know what you're doing, you can get almost anybody to become a better dancer than what they expected they could. If you're good at that part of it. I think a lot of teachers just kind of show you and then tell you. They don't really actually teach you how to do the moves. They just kind of stand up in front and do it really quick and say, here, follow this. And everybody learns a little different. So I learned that early on as well. So I think if you got the right program, which actually translate into one of the things I wanted to talk about was our after school programs for kids, actually, giving them something to do, stay off the street, stay out of trouble. And it was always a way for me to kind of give back. They need the exercise. And so that's where our slogan, Tap Your Potential, came from, is our program to really help the kids who have never maybe dreamed of being a dancer or couldn't even afford it to, have that chance. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like it's a really good because one thing I'm starting to notice, I don't know if it's really the pandemic has kind of had an effect on it with regards to lots of programs and stuff, at least from where I'm around here. When you put out, say, hey guys, we're doing like a dance crew where we're putting together some sort of show or whatever, you don't get the response that you used to get. I mean, like it's
Yeah,
crazy. Like nowadays, it's
right
super
on.
hard. Have you found that it's been harder since? I mean, like I
Definitely.
know some people might say it's because of the pandemic, but I'm sure that has had a huge
I
effect
think it
on
was
it.
on its way there, actually. And I think the pandemic just sort of sealed the deal on it. Was already kind of trending that way a little bit. And then the pandemic came along, and I think it really just kind of crushed a lot of things that were maybe holding on, no pun intended, but by a shoestring. They might have been, sort of just on their way there. And I think the pandemic kind of hit the fast forward button for a lot of a lot of organizations, a lot of groups, and just people in general. They got comfortable in their house, and you get in a pattern of not going out, and then you're not going out. So yeah, I think it's funny you say that, because I was just thinking about getting everyone dancing again, because it's fun, and it brings people together, and it brings communities together, beyond the television screen. It's something that not everybody can do a sing along per se, but we can all move our feet and dance together, kind of thing. And I think it's just screams community. So I do see it coming back around, because people will be starved for that eventually. They're going to want to have those times with other people.
Yeah, no, definitely. After a certain point, you miss it. You know what I mean? Like you take the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
off. I mean, that was me for sure. Like it's just there's you don't realize what you have until it's gone, and that's
You
something
got
that
that.
became super clear. The last 5 years, and I'm so glad we're kind of moving past it. We still talk about it here and there. We're like, oh, I can't wait to move past it, and yet we're still talking about it. But it's part of our history now. We can't
Yeah.
really avoid it. But Cottonwood cloggers, that's what it was. That's
Yeah.
the name of your current dance company, correct?
Yeah,
where
well, that
where
was
you
the one
have
I
the tap
started
your
off.
potential.
Yeah, I started off when I was a kid, and that was the name of the group. And I did that for years and years and years. And then when I moved to be outside of Nashville, I couldn't continue that anymore. I couldn't really bring the group with me. So I had to sort of make that choice in the career, which was a sad one. But knowing that the show was coming, I knew it was going to take a little bit more out of me to, as a performer. And so I had to sort of put the teaching on hold. And I knew I would come back to it. We're going to do something really fun with the web, basically do a web based program. So that's already in the works. But yeah, that's how I got started. I got started, just myself as a young, I think I was in high school, and I got started, um, just as something, as a hobby, really. And I just kept growing and growing, and I kept going and going, and I paid my way through school doing it. And I was driving all over teaching. And at one point I had 12 locations, actually. And I realized there was not enough of me to go around, so I was just really, taking something that, when you think of clogging, I really took it to a whole new level. We had these portable stages that we would take to festivals and set up. And, I had a motorhome, and a Hummer actually sponsored us, and we were traveling around. So I like took this hobby to this whole new level, so it was pretty intense. So
Wow, that's awesome. But it all paid off. It really, really did pay off.
yeah, I
And
started with a piece of plywood on the ground, literally. That
yeah,
was my
literally,
first
right?
show.
Like you
Yeah,
made
my
it
first
work.
show was at a festival with a piece of plywood on the dirt.
Wow, but made it work though. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
that's something. Making the most of it. I really, really admire that. And I mentioned off the top, I was kind of listing off. It's always so fun when I interview people who wear multiple different hats. I mean, you're also, I mentioned off the top, a realtor as well, real estate. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yes. I've been in the real estate business a while, building houses, flipping houses, buying just a house for investment and selling it. But recently decided to go ahead and kind of widen the net to, take all that experience to be able to work with more people, help more people. I really can't build a house for everybody, but I could, as an agent, I could work with more people with their property and try and bring all that expertise, hopefully, to the table, and just help more people and widen the net a little bit of who I can actually, work with. And doing the show, just kind of wanted to be more available to people. And just building a house or flipping a house is really narrow. That's only going to apply to just a few people. But I could talk to everybody about their property or the situation they're in or what they want to do. And that really widens up how I can help people more and work with people. So that's kind of why I decided to go down that road and just kind of add that to the bundle.
Well, there and wow, that's awesome. Like building houses and everything. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's, it started off as a second thing, as something, what if my legs failed me one day and I couldn't dance anymore? And then it just sort of grew its own legs and has become, something I do all the time. And that's really what made for an interesting show model, the director was like, your life's kind of crazy. I mean, that could be a good show, and we were talking about maybe doing like a feature film, which we actually had on the table for a minute, doing like an actual more like a musical. And he's like, we're gonna miss so much. There's so many other things that are gonna get left behind if we just go down that route. So that's where the actual television show kind of got birthed. And the idea was big production meets big construction, and we've got rhythm with views. And so kind of follows me around as we build houses, but also you learn about the business. You learn some tips, maybe. It's not really a how-to program. It's just mostly about kind of me and being in the business of that. And then also you're going to watch us build actual productions on stage, much like you would watch a house get built. We're going to actually build a show through the process of the Rhythm with View show. And that's going to be a tribute show for our veterans. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's going to be awesome. And so we started that in episode 1. So if you watch that, you'll see us begin to work on that. And we're also going to be developing the show on our social media as well. So you can see, as we bring in auditions and different singers and dancers and musicians and whatnot, you can watch the show as it sort of grows from concept to stage. So,
Oh, wow. And one thing too that some people also might take for granted is just the amount of work that goes into those types of shows, or any show really in general. What's it like on the creative side? Because I've interviewed people who one of the things that they take the most pride in when it comes to putting on shows is the creative aspect. I mean, not just, like, the producing and stuff like that, but also the creativity is a huge part of it, and just the whole process. What's it like balancing out between, producing it, but then you also want to make sure that your creative vision kind of or like the whole creative process, you kind of soak that in, so what's it like balancing out those two?
Ironically, it's much like a dance. I mean, it is much like, staying on balance and moving from one thing to another. And the world that we live in is changing so fast. And, so what used to work really absolutely may not work right now. And so, I've really found that aspect of it has been probably the part that has changed the most, between your technology and again, not to recircle, but the pandemic did kind of really shift a lot of things on how we work and where people work and what they work on. So, I've really found that it is sort of a juggling act now between, and you'll find more artists. I'm actually independent in the sense that I didn't have to sign my life away to do this. I'm actually a partner in the show, and I get to make some decisions with the show as well. But you're going to find more and more that to be independent, you're going to have to be that producer, you're going to have to be the marketer, you're going to have to be the promoter, you're going to have to wear many hats. So the illusion that you're just going to kind of sit back by the beach and hang out by the pool is that it is an illusion. A lot of photo ops go into making that look like it's easy, but the reality is it's a very intense world to juggle all of those things and pull them all off, bring all these different people together with different ideas and make it all happen and find the money to do it. So it's weird where some parts of the business have gotten easier than ever, but honestly I think it's maybe harder than it's ever been in some regards as well.
Yes, 100%. Like, it's so easy to look at, the final product, the finished product, and we can do this with any type of movie or show or anything we watch. We look at the final product and just think, oh wow, that must have been so easy to do. But then behind the scenes, you realize, they're doing what they love, so it must have just been so easy for them. And while it is what you love and it's what you want to do, that doesn't mean that it's just going to be a smooth ride. There's going to be bumps there. Oh, you're bringing all these people together, and you're, basically, in charge of the whole operation, not just like, some like the creative aspect and making sure that, the creativity still shows, but I got to make sure that everything is together. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes. And
it can.
if you're trying to spearhead that, it's kind of your name on there. People really don't read, a long list of credits. They just kind of see who's at the top. So they get the spoils when it's great, but they also get all the criticism. They get all the critique. They get, that end of the deal as well. So you really don't, the person way down on the list, they're kind of anonymous, they just kind of move on, and where when you're putting everything out on the line, if it doesn't go well, I mean, it could be the end of the line for you. So a lot of people don't realize the risk, just like real estate. Ironically, these two businesses, when I got started with the show, I didn't realize how, even in my own mind, how close they were in similarities, but it's all about taking an idea, whether it's a house or a show, and getting the idea so well developed on paper that you can then hand it over to somebody else and they can help you build it. And they can follow the plan or the blueprint with such accuracy that you get a final product that you're going after. And it really requires on the people you can find, the talent they have, and the budget that you're working with to pull it off. So you're not going to build a mansion with $100,000 budget, and so the same thing goes for, productions, you're trying to get this $1 million production on, nowhere's near that kind of money. It's very tough to do. So you need to be a business person. You need to know how all of this works. It's not magic. I mean, they call it movie magic, but it's not. I'll tell you the magic. It's called money. That's the magic. And then you can make it happen, So it's a very tough business that way. I think there's a lot of misnomers of what people think it's like and what it really takes. And I think the real estate part of that of my life has really allowed me to have more of a business mindset with my art, to where I can have that reality check, to my own self, that I'm not living in a pipe dream, that, this is what it's going to take to make this a reality. And talent's not enough anymore. Unfortunately, it really is just not enough. When you really kind of measure it out, talent's just only a sliver of the equation now of what it takes. And so that's made the whole business very difficult, to navigate, because you think I practice my craft. I'm amazing at it. Everybody tells me I'm great. And then you find out that's not enough.
No, exactly. Like you can't just go by just one good thing and just expect that to define you. Hey,
Yeah.
I did this one show, and then I'm not doing anything else now. But hey, look at I did that. I did that show that was like 20 years ago. And it's like, well, what have you done since then? Oh, nothing. It's like, okay. I mean, like, that's good for you. But I mean, like, just because you're at the height of your success, or like, that's like the biggest success that you've ever had, definitely don't stop there. It's got to keep on going, and people, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is.
You've got to
Just
start being your own staff too. You really, you used to be, you would hire somebody that knew more than you, and then you sort of let go. But now you kind of need to know enough to know that they actually know what they're doing. And, I learned that in the construction business. A lot of guys will tell you they can do the job, but you have to know enough to know whether they know that they really can do it. And so you can't just take someone's word on things anymore. You really have to kind of be kind of a quasi expert, in whatever you're working on. You have to have enough knowledge to know the people that you're hiring can actually pull off what you're trying to get done. And you just can't, expect it to happen because they said it would. And I think that's probably been a big shift that I've seen, is just how much you have to be involved. You really can't be an absentee manager anymore. You need to be right there, involved, sleeves rolled up, getting dirty with everybody else. There's no other way to make it happen.
But in a great way, it's such a collaborative effort. I mean, like, not just, I mean, like, you're running the whole operation, but a great for, building skills, working with people. If maybe before you're like, I'm not really, I mean, that was me for sure. I mean, like, not that I wasn't really a people person, but I've definitely, in producing my own theater shows and stuff like that, I've gotten more confident with regards to I can pull this together. Not to the point where, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, like this and that, blah blah blah. But like I'm at the point now where I feel good, where okay, we pulled that off. That looked great. That turned out really, really good. But I can't stop there. Okay, this right here, I should work on this for next time, or this and that. Like, so you kind of learn the work by doing the work, kind of thing,
Yeah. You have to be trial by fire for sure. You've got to be in there. And most of what I do too, I mean, a lot of times, not so much in the construction part, but just in the showbiz part, I'm always sort of on the fringe. I'm not doing the normal thing. Like with the show, I was, sort of given the challenge. Could I take dance to a whole new level? Could I take the percussive dancing and do something completely different? Can we move it off the stage and get it from a two-dimensional flat plane? Can we move it into something more three-dimensional, more alive? And so we decided to sort of make the world the stage as much as possible. And so you'll see in there, I'm dancing through, one of the lumber yards, because, I go there for the house reasons, but then we break into sort of a musical on television. So it's really got this different feel to it. And then I'm dancing across the high-lows and the semi trucks and, through the whole lumber yard of of that center. And then other scenes in the film, I'm dancing across, sides of mountains and rocks. And then one of the scenes, pretty amazing one, was I went across a waterfall. So that was pretty cool. And so we really tried to say, hey, how can we, what can you do to take dance to a whole new level, make it something that's never been done before? So kind of going in line with what you're saying, how do we go to a whole new level? And so that was kind of the challenge put to me. And I said, okay, let's make the world the stage. And I definitely don't recommend that people just go out and try to do this stuff. There was some of the stuff in there was very dangerous. So, but we really are saying, how do we move past what we've seen for the last, relatively hundreds of years, is just tap dancing on a stage. That's all we've ever seen. And and maybe a few, TikTok videos where someone's in their garden with a piece of plywood on the ground or something like that. But, how do we take it to a whole new level? So I'm actually dancing across the rocks and jumping and doing all these things. It was actually quite athletically challenging. It was the most difficult thing I've done.
Oh wow, like that that is quite that, and that's all like it's not edited in post, eh? Like that's completely,
No, no,
you know
no,
what I
no,
mean? Like
no.
that's
Yeah, no, the only editing was just multiple cameras and, just getting the takes and all of that. But it was me dancing and no camera trickery or anything like that. So, but yeah, no, I actually almost knocked one of the guys over with, I don't know if you're familiar with the Red camera, but that's the cameras they were using, was the Red. And they used them on like Star Wars and Jurassic Park and whatnot.
oh
And
okay.
so we have really high quality, and they brought out these very expensive gear, and we're out in this water, and I like literally almost just knocked over the camera guy and like a $500,000 worth of equipment in the river. And so I mean, we were doing things that people normally would not expect you to do for when you think of a dance show. So and we've got more in store. So
Yes, so feel free to plug what's coming up. I mean, like, is there any teases you can give us, or is it kind of like a tune in and find out kind of thing?
kind of a tune in and find out, because we're using our first episode as a way to pilot this out, but also because we're getting ready to mentioning that show earlier, we're getting ready to take sort of the act on the road. And what we're going to be doing is going around doing like an American Town tour, stopping in and promoting the Rhythm with Views show, getting out and doing the performances, meeting people around the country, and then all of this kind of sandwiching into the rest of season one, which we're currently working on. And so it's kind of exciting, but we want to take this time to build more awareness, get out there, get people dancing, promote the Tap Your Potential program to schools with after school programs. And so there's a lot of things that we want to do to kind of connect with people throughout the community. And because the show is more than a show. So that's what's exciting about it.
Wow, that's super awesome. That's awesome. So you're doing great, Atticus. It's great what you're doing. Congratulations on all your success and everything. I mean, it's super great. Rhythm with Views is going really, really good. Happy to hear about that. So where can people find you on like social media or like website and stuff like that? Well, I have your website here actually. It's
yeah.
AtticusSumner.com. But
That
is anywhere else or?
Well, yeah, and just so they know, so people don't get confused, kind of my stage name is just my first and middle name, which we go by Atticus Ray. So if you see that, it's still my name. I just don't want anyone to get confused. But if you go to Atticus Ray at Linktree, official Atticus Ray at Linktree, all those social media links and everything will be right there for you. Where to go find the show. I encourage everyone to watch it because in today's world, to watch something you've never seen before is very hard to find. And I'm going to tell you that you've never seen anything like this show before. And anybody can sit down and get something out of it and have a great time watching it. And so we're just encouraging people to do that. And also to keep tuning in because we are going to be coming out. If you'd like to actually be part of us coming to your town, we're looking for some promotional partners right now. Actually, we haven't started, but we've already got some lined up because kind of word got out. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're kind of calling it like Footloose, like Footloose coming to your town. And we're going to get the whole town dancing. We'll be doing school assemblies and concerts while we're there. And it'll be a lot of fun. So.
Oh, awesome. If you're free, come on down to Miramichi, New Brunswick. We'd love to have you down here. Miramichi, okay. Footloose, Miramichi Footloose. I like that. We should.
I've been to Nova Scotia quite a bit, so teaching workshops. So,
okay.
It wouldn't be terrible to come up there and say hi to y'all and have some lobster. Are you big into lobster there too?
Yeah, there's lots. Yeah, I'm not too big on lobster myself, but I know lots of people who are like they're huge into that.
Oh, yeah,
so.
I got fed a lot of lobster when I went to Nova Scotia. So
that's a good spot for it though. Like that's everywhere you go.
I didn't know if y'all are into that too, but yeah, no, that'll be fun. Maybe we can set something up. But yeah, this is a worldwide program, so it's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV Plus. So it's in 70 languages around the world. So just people can watch it everywhere. Definitely go and check it out. And the rest of season 1 is on the burner right now, getting cooked up and ready to go. And but more importantly, just stay in touch because we're going to be doing a lot of really cool things on social media as we build from television to stage and from stage back to TV again. So it's going to be quite a lot of fun.
Oh, perfect. Definitely. So we will definitely stay in touch. Super excited about that. Yes. So thank you for coming on today, Atticus. Guys, definitely don't forget to check out Rhythm with Views, Amazon Prime. Almost said Amazon Music for some reason. That's Amazon Music. Yeah, I can listen to it. Amazon Prime, Google Play, all that good stuff, Apple TV Plus. Atticus, best of luck to you, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So, guys, we are going to take a short break. But until then, this is Frankie and Atticus signing off. Thank you, Atticus.
Yep. Thanks.
Before we continue, we'd like to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Newcastle Business District. The Newcastle Business District continues to promote, develop, and enhance our downtown business area through community projects, promotions, and economic development. It was first created in 1983 under the name Newcastle Business Association and was renamed Downtown Miramichi Business Network. This was following Newcastle's incorporation into the new city of Miramichi in 1999. In 2006, it was renamed again to Newcastle Business District. Despite the many changes in its name over the years, the organization's goal has always remained the same, which is to further enhance the active growth of the downtown business community. Newcastle Business District. Shop Downtown Newcastle. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. That was me and Atticus Sumner. Definitely, guys, be sure to check out Rhythm with Views, Amazon Prime, Google Play, and Apple TV Plus. And me and Atticus may be planning something in the future. We talked a little bit about we chatted a bit after we recorded that. Might have something in the works in the near future, but we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But definitely, Atticus, thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I'm happy to give you the publicity. And so our first discussion topic today, our first solo discussion topic today, is going to be with regards, it's this interview with Robert Downey Jr. with GQ UK. And I thought it was really interesting when I read it. So basically it's, why does Robert Downey Jr. want to see Tom Holland move on from Spider-Man? And so you guys know, I mean, of course, Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland, they've kind of had this father-son bond for Tom's duration in the MCU, which started in Civil War. It's kind of carried on. It carried on into Infinity War, Homecoming, and then of course kind of ended with Endgame, where spoiler alert, Tony died, and then Spider-Man, Spider-Man didn't die. He kept on going, and Tom Holland's currently still he still is Spider-Man currently. But in this recent interview with Robert Downey Jr., he is eager for Tom Holland to kind of move on from Spider-Man. So this is what it said. In a recent interview with GQ UK, Robert Downey Jr. spoke about what he hopes Tom Holland does in the future, and also if he is willing to come back as Iron Man in the MCU. Tom Holland recently opened up about continuing to play Spider-Man when his contract ends after the next Spider-Man film entitled Spider-Man No Way Home comes out. No Way Home would be the last one on my contract. I have always said to them, if they want me back, I'll be there in a heartbeat. If they want me back, I'll be there. If they don't, I will walk off into the sunset a very happy person, because it has been an amazing journey. And actually, yeah, I should probably point out here, by the way, I forgot to mention this. This was released, I never saw this article until just recently. It says, because of course it says after the next Spider-Man movie entitled No Way Home. So this was before No Way Home. But this was the first time I ever saw this article, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts. And now Robert Downey Jr. has also given his opinion about this. Look, Tom won't be playing Spider-Man when he's 37. At least, I hope not. And when you're in the MCU, there's a feeling of all life beginning with it and ending with it. But there's a life outside it too. I can confirm this. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It's funny. I bumped into Keanu Reeves the other day, somewhere in Malibu, I think, and he told me he had just been filming The Matrix again. He stepped back into that world that he once occupied. I asked him what it felt like being in Australia. What I'm saying is there was a Spider-Man before Tom Holland, and there will be a Spider-Man after Tom Holland. That's facts, Tomo. Sorry. In the same interview, he was asked if he would be willing to suit up again, and he stated, well, I have alighted for now. Real world to save, but never say never. And so it also says, Tom Holland is starting to build a solid acting career outside the MCU, but hopefully No Way Home isn't the last time we see him. It's not the last time we see him. We're going to see him. They've already confirmed they're making a fourth MCU Spider-Man film. So No Way Home's not his last one. But it's definitely interesting. I read that. So I remember I read that a few times. Obviously it's from before No Way Home came out. I don't know why I didn't see that article until now. But I really think it's interesting because nobody would know that better than Robert Downey Jr., who is, of course, I mean, I guess it's not really an exaggeration to say that there would be no MCU without Robert Downey Jr. I think he even said that with what was that interview I saw him with? What was it? Howard Stern, I think it was, or some radio show, basically saying they should put a erect a shrine in my honor, kind of thing. There's no Marvel Cinematic Universe. I did everything, kind of thing. And it's funny because Robert Downey Jr. has. one things I like about him is that, I mean, like, yes, he's confident. Some might think he's kind of stuck up when he's kind of, talking like that. But to me, I think it's great. He has the perfect, he finds that perfect balance of, yeah, sure, he's confident, but he's also super humble at the same time. That's what I've always really admired about Robert Downey Jr. He's not full of himself. He's not, I mean, like, despite that, the man is one of the richest people in the world, or richest actors too, period. He's also very humble. He's confident. He's proud of what he does, but he's, and that's what I love about him. We all love Robert Downey Jr. And nobody would know that, like, that there's a life outside the MCU better than Robert Downey Jr. Now, of course, Tom Holland has gotten lots of work outside of Spider-Man. He did that one movie, or what was that, TV show, I think it was, The Crowder Room, which I have not seen yet, but it's gotten a lot of mixed reviews. There was, of course, the Uncharted movie, which from what I hear was kind of bad. But Tom Holland's a great actor, though. Tom Holland is a fantastic actor, and I really do agree with Robert Downey Jr. That, like, Tom's a great actor, and if he keeps on playing Spider-Man when he's 37, like, you know what I mean? Like, if he's already, spreading his wings and he's doing all these other amazing roles and stuff like that, then when you're Spider-Man, when you're locked into these contracts with the MCU, you're very limited as to what you can sign up for. Like, oh, hey, there's this awesome crime drama that I was offered a part in. Oh, but shit, like, it's part of my contract. We're doing the next Avengers movie, whatever, and I can't do it. And so what do I think we should do with Tom Holland, or what he should do? Just my opinion. I mean, like, definitely, there's no doubt about it. He's gonna do another Spider-Man solo movie. He's probably gonna be in Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty and stuff like that. I mean, it's not confirmed, but I mean, he's gonna be there, almost guaranteed. But I would like to see another solo trilogy with, of course, Tom Holland Spider-Man, because I think it's gonna be super interesting to see what he does after No Way Home. But I really think that maybe after that trilogy, he should call it quits. Here I am telling some Canadian nobody telling Tom Holland, millionaire, what to do. No, I'm not telling him what to do. Like he listens to this podcast. I wish. I wish. Fuck. But I think it would be a good time to kind of end it there, like whether they kill off his iteration of Peter Parker or he just, swings off into the sunset. I don't know. And then, of course, maybe he can do what Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have done, where they pop up again later, and like there's rumors and speculation that they will pop up again at some point. Tom Holland will always be part of the MCU, like, no matter what, or like, his fingerprints will be all over it no matter what. Same with Robert Downey Jr. Well, I think, I don't anticipate we'll see like Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark resurrected, anything like that. I highly, highly, highly doubt that. But I would expect maybe like a cameo, like Stan Lee's gone. We can do Tony Stark cameos. I don't know. Which is something that has been discussed. I have seen articles of people saying that should happen. But definitely, yeah, like Tom Holland, he is a fantastic actor outside of Spider-Man. He's got the chops. I do get what Robert Downey Jr. is saying with the point where he says there is a life outside the MCU, and that if Tom sticks with it for too long, he's going to get stuck. Like, he's a great actor, and this is something that Robert Downey Jr. would know. Robert Downey Jr., of course, after he did Avengers Endgame. That was his last one. He did some movies scattered throughout. Like, Due Date was one. I actually like Due Date a lot. Due Date was a really funny movie. Him and Zach Galifianakis, like a road trip comedy. I really, really, really enjoyed that movie. Definitely check it out if you guys haven't seen it. So he's had some good films scattered throughout, but obviously all people would see is Iron Man, Tony Stark, this and that. But then, of course, after Endgame and, Tony Stark was killed, Robert Downey Jr. went on to do Doolittle, which I still haven't seen, but from everything I hear about it, it's a garbage film. I guess he does what's best with it, to with whatever shitty material what he was given. He made the most of it, but for the most part, it was a bad movie from what I hear. And then of course he did Oppenheimer, which I've said it and I stand by it. I think he's going to get an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Oppenheimer. He was phenomenal in that movie. And I think Tom Holland could have that potential to, he's getting, he's improving himself as an actor, and he's getting all these great gigs and stuff like that. But for someone like Robert Downey Jr., where he was so, like locked into Iron Man, he couldn't really go out and spread his wings, really. Tom Holland, basically what Robert Downey Jr. is saying is that he hopes that it doesn't get to that point where he's 37. They're still trying to find ways to, they're doing these new Spider-Man movies. He sees the potential in Tom Holland. I mean, he pretty well, he's a good mentor to him, like a, fatherly type figure to him. And he really sees the potential in him. And I think, he's speaking from experience, where he's like, I was tied up with this for 10 years. It's a big commitment. It's lots of, hours and days and just everything. And you're not going to be able to do many other roles. And he's insanely talented. You know what I mean? So, I really admire that about Robert Downey Jr. I really, really do. I think he's a good, what's the word? Life coach. I think that's the best way to say it. Life coach, like he's really, and Robert Downey Jr. has been through a lot too. I mean, goddamn, throughout his entire career, he had his drug problem. He was, he ruined TV shows and stuff like that because of his behavior. Went through a lot of bad stuff, but he came out on top, man, and he's still one of the best actors to ever grace the big screen for sure. And Tom Holland's learning from the best, man. He's learning from the best. So, where I stand on it, I say that Tom Holland maybe. This is kind of what I'd like to see him, and also what I think might happen. He'll be in, of course, Avengers: Secret Wars, Avengers: Kang Dynasty. I think it's likely that he's going to be in it. Like I'd be shocked if he wasn't. And then he's going to do another trilogy of Spider-Man movies, and then I think that's done. I think he's going to be done after that. Just my opinion. I have nothing to back that up. I'm kind of just speculating, really. But we'll see how it goes. Anyways, guys, I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys all think. Definitely be sure to let me know what you think about this on social media. Do you think it... do you think Robert Downey Jr. is correct? Do you think that it is maybe time for Tom Holland to move on to Spider-Man? Are you guys hoping he moves on from Spider-Man because you're in the same position as Downey Jr., where you see lots of potential in Tom Holland. He's a great actor, and you just don't want to see him get trapped in the Spider-Man role. Definitely, whatever you guys think, be sure to let me know your thoughts. And so with that down and out of the way, I want to talk about, I had a different topic prepped for today, and then I ended up coming across this recent article from Variety. But actually a lot of sites are reporting this because, hell, it's big. Michael Caine, the great Michael Caine. Now, probably I would say what Michael Caine is probably best known for. He's known for a lot of stuff, but I know for all the people that I know, there's a lot of people that I know him best as, Alfred in The Dark Knight, but he's got a Bible, you know what I mean? He's got a Bible of movies that he's done. But I think he's great. Interstellar too. I remember I went and rewatched that the other day. Because or actually not the other day, it was a while back, because I'm trying to decide what the best Christopher Nolan movie is, and Interstellar was one of them, and so I was kind of watching that to see where I stood on it. But Michael Caine's fantastic in that as well. Michael Caine is fantastic in Interstellar, and with every movie he does. It was funny, I was going through typed in this whole thing about Michael Caine, and it was like this big like Michael Caine's best movies like ranked, and it's like 50 of them on here. It's unreal. Like the man. I gotta say though, like for someone who's 90 to now deciding, yeah, I think I'm done. Like, not many people can say that. Well, Betty White. I mean, Betty White was one. And there's probably more that I can't think of off the top of my head. But Betty White's one that really stood out to me. Where I think it was to the point where Betty White was too scared to take on roles anymore, or like she was scared to get locked into a contract in the event that she died. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy that she'd still be, she was still doing that at her age. But if they like it enough, you know what I mean? Like that's something. But Michael Caine has pretty much said that he's done. So this is the article from Variety. Michael Caine says he's sort of retired now. I am bloody 90 and I can't walk properly. Or as he says, I am bloody 90. I want to do a Michael Caine impression so bad, and I just cannot do it. Anyway, Michael Caine caused a stir in 2021 when he said that his role in director Lena Rosslay's I'm probably butchering that comedy bestsellers might be the last of his career. Reps for the two-time Oscar winner were swift to clarify that Caine's announcement was premature and that he was already considering 2 new films at the time. Flash forward 2 years later, and it seems Caine is more or less retired now. I am bloody 90 now, and I can't walk properly and all that, he told The Telegraph in a new profile. I am retired now. If Caine actually is retired, then his final film will be the upcoming The Great Escaper. The film, co-starring Glenda Jackson, is based on the true story of Bernard Bernie Jordan, a Royal Navy veteran who disappeared from his old age home at 89 to travel France so he could attend the 70th anniversary of D-Day. I was so happy to do it, Caine said. I just loved the character of Bernie. I thought he was incredible, and it's so beautifully written. With COVID and all that, I hadn't done a picture in 3 years, and I thought I was finished. Then suddenly, did it, and had a wonderful time. Taking on a role at his age proved arduous for Caine, who explained, they gave me a very good walking stick, and I was able to do scenes that needed that. I just do them once and then fall over, but just one take, that's it. Forget it. We were sure to be careful that Michael wasn't working too hard, Caine's director Oliver Parker clarified, and having him negotiate moving around at the pace he did, but for him to have returned to acting not after made a film in a while and in the way he did was quite a thing. I've rarely seen him playing a character that has such frailty, Parker added. He's always been Michael Caine, carefree, confident, and cool. Here he's playing a man who was struggling to keep control, and for the audience to invest in that he really has to share his vulnerabilities. I really was thrilled at Michael's ability to do that. And really though, that's unreal. That, I mean, like, look, like, I know lots of people who, they get to their, 60s, they get to their 70s, and they're like, okay, I think I'm done now. I'm even hearing of some people, they're retiring, younger than that, 50, you know what I mean? Like they're getting, fairly young. Michael Caine, man, 90 years old, and he's still like, he wants to do acting, but now, luckily now he's gotten to the point now where he's decided, okay, I think, what's done is done, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of, accept the fact that, I gotta stop this at some point. So asked about what it's like to be 90 years old, Caine said, the worst thing about it is that so much disappears from your life. You can't run around, you can't play football, and you gradually realize that you're approaching death. Death could be just around the corner at 90, he said. But I'm quite happy. I'm sitting here writing, doing my thing. I like it. I have 2 children, 3 grandchildren, and a wife. Everyone's going to join me eventually. No one's going to say, I'm so sorry you're going to die. I wish you were like me and not going to die. Everybody's going to die. I've lived to fucking 90. I didn't die at 9 or 19 or 29, I'm 90, and I've had the best possible life I could have thought of. The best possible wife, the best possible family. They may not be a family that other people would say is the best possible family, but the best possible family for me. He says possible a lot in there. And then the Great Escaper is opening in UK theaters on October 6th. Yeah, like that one. Okay, so that last part really resonated with me when I first read it, because I'll kind of, this isn't really entertainment esque kind of thing. It might be a little sad, but it's my show. I'm just gonna talk about it anyway. So a lot of you guys who know me, that my grandmother passed away last November on the opening night of our show, A Miramichi Christmas, which it's coming up on a year now, which is crazy. And one of the things that, it's hard to lose people around you. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard, no matter if they live the fullest life, if, anything like that. It's hard, and while losing Graham was super tough, I took, great joy in she lived to be 92. I took great joy in knowing that she lived the best life she could have. You know what I mean? Like, she left behind such a legacy too, where she, 9 children, multiple grandchildren, nieces and nephews. You know what I mean? Like, she lived life to the fullest. You know what I mean? And so, yes, of course, while it was super devastating for us all to lose her, it was, I was just so glad that she, not many people get to say that they, get to, like someone like me. I know a lot of people that lost their grandparents or, lost their grandmother at, when they were, say, 8, 9, 10. I was so grateful that I was able to have my grandmother, for 24 years. You know what I mean? Like, not many people can say that, which is it's crazy. And yeah, it's, sorry, I'm not really sure where I'm going with it, but I get where he's coming from. You know what I mean? Like, we're all gonna die. Like, that's one thing. We're all gonna die. I think he's at the point now, Michael Caine. Sorry for going off on a tangent there, guys. I kind of want to just, explain why that part resonated with me so much. The thing with it too is, when you're at that age where you're like, I could die tomorrow. Like, it's not even maybe like no, you're 90, you could die. You know what I mean? Like, you could, you could just, go to bed one night and not wake up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you don't know. And I think he's at the point now where, of course, acting's a big job. He's working lots of hours and doing this and that. Obviously, they're making it as easy on him as possible, making sure they don't push him too hard. But knowing that your time is coming up soon, you want to enjoy that with your family. You want to, maybe you can't move around as much as you did. You probably can't go hiking or can't do nothing like that. But you want to just, enjoy the rest of your days in peace. Just sit around with your wife, sitting around with your, he said he got 2 kids. He's got 2 kids and 3 grandkids. Enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like, really enjoy that. And I just, the man has had such an amazing career. He certainly earned the retirement. And yeah, that's just all I could say. There might be some people saying, oh, come on, like, you're Michael Caine. Like, guys, you guys don't know, like, it's tough for an actor. Not just an actor who's 90, but any actor. If some actors want to move on, say, like, hey, maybe I want to focus more on directing or more on this, like, that's their choice. And with Michael Caine, I don't think there's any reason to, not understand why he's doing this. He certainly earned it. He had a great career. He's had a great life. Yeah, I'm just super happy that he's, made that call. So, we're all going to miss Michael Caine's acting, but, we definitely know that there's great things ahead. And who knows? Here's the thing. Like, I heard something recently that Mark Wahlberg is going to retire soon, or he's planning on retiring or something like that. And, like, that could change tomorrow. You know who said that before, too? Johnny Depp said that he was going to retire. he was going to retire after it was one of his movies bombed or something like that. And then he's like, yeah, I think I'm planning on, I'm going to retire soon, this and that. And then he made like 20 movies. Well, then, I mean, like, not 20 movies, because then, of course, he ran into that whole kerfluffle with his wife. But, anyways, you guys know about that. But, yeah, like, so who knows? I mean, like, he could wake up tomorrow and go, yeah, I think I'm feeling another movie. Yeah, Christopher Nolan, what do you got for me? But if he doesn't, that's fine. He lived a good life. He had, I mean, like, I'm talking like he's dead already, but I mean, he did everything he wanted to do. He had a great career, left behind a great legacy. He deserves to live out the rest of his life however he wants it. You know what I mean? So, big congratulations to him. Not that he's ever going to listen to this. I talked to some of these people, like, I hope they, I mean, like, I would love for them to listen to this sometime, but there's no way. But super thrilled for Michael Caine, regardless of if he hears this or not. If you guys can tag him, I don't think he has social media or anything, but tag it to his publicist, whatever you got to do. So yeah, guys, we're going to call it for the show there today. I want to thank my guest, Atticus Sumner. Definitely be sure to check out Rhythm with Views on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, and Google Play. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Going into October now, lots of stuff coming, more information. Playhouse Choral tickets are going on sale soon, so be sure to stay tuned on social media for that. And yeah, guys, so thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week, but until then, this is Frankie signing off. Take it easy, guys.